Hello, my elegant English learners, and welcome back to Mr. English Talks. Today, we are stepping away from the roar of engines and into a world of whispers, of rustling silk, and the precise cut of a perfectly tailored jacket. We're going to Paris, not as it is today, but as it was in 1947, a city physically victorious, but emotionally weary, draped in the dull, practical fabrics of war. And into this gray world, a man with a dream and a pair of scissors would unleash a thunderclap of color, fabric, and hope that would redefine femininity and build one of the most iconic luxury empires in history. This is the story of how Dior became a luxury brand. It is a story not just of fashion, but of perfect timing, psychological genius, and the alchemy of turning a single, dazzling collection into a global symbol of aspiration. Our story begins not with a young prodigy, but with a man who found his calling late. Christian Dior was born in 1905 into a wealthy family in Normandy, France. His parents expected him to become a diplomat, but young Christian was drawn to art, to music, to the vibrant avant-garde scene of 1920s Paris. He sold his first fashion sketches, ran a small art gallery, and lived a bohemian life. But the 1930s brought disaster. The Great Depression ruined his family, and he fell into poverty and illness. For years, he struggled, designing for other fashion houses, a ghost in the ateliers, learning the craft, but remaining unknown. This long apprenticeship in hardship was crucial. It gave him time years of observation, of understanding fabric, construction, and the business of fashion from the ground up. While others burned brightly and fast, Dior was a slow-burning fuse, waiting for his moment. That moment arrived in the ashes of World War II. Paris in 1946 was free, but it was somber. Women's fashion, constrained by years of rationing and trauma, was boxy, shoulder-padded, masculine, and frugal. Fabrics were scarce, hemlines were short, and spirit was lower than hemlines. The world longed for beauty, for luxury, for a return to joy. Enter a shrewd textile magnate named Marcel Boussac, the king of cotton. He saw potential in the 41-year-old, relatively unknown designer Christian Dior. Boussac didn't just want a new dress. He wanted to revive the entire French fashion industry, and he believed Dior had the vision to do it. He funded the creation of the House of Dior at 30 Avenue Montaigne. On a cold morning in February 1947, Dior unveiled his first collection to a small group of jaded editors and buyers. What they saw left them breathless. He called the line corolle, the botanical term for a circlet of petals. But a fashion editor, Carmel Snow of Harper's Bazaar, would give it the immortal name, the new look. And what a look it was. It was a revolution in a single silhouette. Out went the harsh, military shoulders and short, skimpy skirts. In came soft, sloping shoulders, a cinched wasp waist achieved with intricate internal corsetry, and skirts that used an astonishing 20 to 25 yards of fabric, billowing out in luxurious, calf-length fullness. It was opulent, feminine, romantic, and radically extravagant. It was the absolute opposite of wartime austerity. The reaction was electric and divisive. Some women wept with joy at the return of beauty. Others protested in the streets, angered by the waste of fabric. But the controversy was the rocket fuel. Dior hadn't just designed clothes. He had designed the feeling of hope, of luxury, of unapologetic femininity. He sold a dream to a world desperate to dream again. This was the first, and most important, step in becoming a luxury brand. He defined a new desire. But Dior was not just an artist. He was a visionary businessman. He understood that a luxury brand is a world, not just a product. He was one of the first designers to fully grasp licensing. While he controlled the exquisite, made-to-order haute couture in Paris, he licensed the Dior name for accessories, stockings, perfumes, and ties. This meant that a woman who could never afford a Dior gown could buy a bottle of Dior perfume and feel connected to the glamour. The perfume, by the way, was not an afterthought. In 1947, the same year as the new look, he launched Miss Dior, a fragrance named for his beloved sister Catherine. It was a masterpiece of marketing, making the scent an integral part of the Dior universe. He was building an ecosystem of luxury. Then, he mastered the art of the narrative and the icon. Every collection had a name and a story. The Tulip line, the Cyclone line, the H line. He turned fashion shows into theatrical events. He created iconic, almost architectural pieces that were instantly recognizable, like the bar suit from the new look. Its sharp, tailored jacket and full skirt became the symbol of an era. He dressed the most famous and elegant women in the world: princesses, movie stars, heiresses. Their photographs in magazines were worth more than any advertisement. He wasn't just selling dresses. He was selling a mythology of Parisian elegance. Tragically, Christian Dior's personal reign was short. He died suddenly of a heart attack in 1957, just 10 years after his revolution began. And here, the brand faced its first existential crisis. Would it die with its founder, like so many others? But Dior had built something stronger than one man. The house he created was a system, a legacy. The choice of his successor was a shock. A shy, 21-year-old assistant named Yves Saint Laurent, who brilliantly respected the Dior codes while gently modernizing them. Later, other geniuses like Marc Bohan, Gianfranco Ferré, John Galliano, and now Maria Grazia Chiuri would take the helm. Each brought their own drama and vision, but they all worked within the grammar that Dior had created, an emphasis on the silhouette, on exquisite craftsmanship, on a certain romantic femininity. The brand became bigger than any single designer. It became an institution. So, how did Dior become a luxury brand? Let's distill its genius into clear lessons. First, solve a cultural and emotional need. Dior didn't just make pretty dresses. He provided an antidote to collective trauma. He sold optimism, beauty, and a return to grace when the world needed it most. True luxury brands sell emotional solutions, not just products. Second, create a radical, defining signature. The new look silhouette was so strong, so distinct, it was instantly recognizable. It was a visual language. Luxury is about clear, confident identity. Third, build a world, not just a product line, from perfume to lipstick, from licensed accessories to global boutiques. Dior created an accessible entry point into the dream. This built brand loyalty and revenue at every level. Fourth, master the power of story and icon. Every piece had a name. Every show was a chapter. He turned clients into heroines in his story. Luxury is a narrative that the customer wants to step into. Fifth, institutionalize the DNA. By successfully transitioning to new creative directors, Dior proved its codes were strong enough to survive its founder. It became a legacy house, its value rooted in history and perpetual renewal. For you, as an English learner, there is a powerful parallel. You're building your own personal brand of communication. What is your signature style? Are you clear and direct, or poetic and descriptive? You are creating a world of expression for yourself. And like Dior, consistency is key. Daily practice hones your unique silhouette of speech. Don't just learn words. Learn the grammar of elegance in communication, how to structure a thought beautifully, how to choose the perfect word for the moment. If this story of vision, timing, and building a world of beauty inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to Mr. English Talks for for more lessons on culture, history, and the art of communication. Hit the like button if you believe in the power of a well-defined vision, and tell me in the comments, what is one new look, one radical change you want to make in your own life or learning? Remember, keep learning, keep refining your own elegance, and I will see you in the next video.